Chase Elliott trying to bring it back. What a victory this will be. Home track winner, Chase Elliott delivers at Atlanta.
Awesome job, man. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Chase Elliott's victory celebration at Atlanta was supposed to be a career-defining moment. But what happened after the checkered flag has completely changed the narrative. While Elliott was soaking up the home crowd's cheers and ending a brutal 44-race drought, rival drivers were dropping bombshells behind the scenes that are now threatening to overshadow his emotional breakthrough. The explosive comments from William Byron, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Briscoe aren't just criticism, they're character assassinations that could derail Elliott's entire championship narrative before the playoffs even begin. What should have been Elliott's redemption story at Echo Park Speedway quickly became a lightning rod for controversy. The Georgia native's last-lap heroics to secure his first win since Texas 2024 had fans going wild, but in the garage area, a very different conversation was taking place. The mayhem that defined the Quaker State 400 wasn't just exciting racing. It was a demolition derby that exposed what veteran drivers see as fundamental problems with modern NASCAR. When the dust settled, from multiple massive wrecks involving over 20 cars, the fallout was just beginning. William Byron didn't hold back his fury after watching his top 5 run get obliterated in the 23-car pileup. His post-race comments cut through the media room like a razor blade. "We look like a truck series or something. You can be aggressive, but just try not to crash."
Well, yeah, I mean, too aggressive. Yeah. Well, you can be aggressive like once you get kind of fully up to speed. I mean, obviously there's jockeying on restarts always, but just try not to crash, you know? So I don't know why we crashed the whole field. Like, trying to get up to speed, we look like a truck series or something.
Frustrated by the disastrous outcome in Atlanta, William Byron took to X and shared a GIF mocking the race proceedings. The short clip showcased a weatherman getting completely buried by a snowplow. The HMS driver captioned the post with a barrage of fuming emojis. This wasn't just general frustration, this was a direct shot at the driving standards that allowed Elliott to benefit from the chaos. Byron's anger revealed a deeper tension in the garage, the belief that Elliott's victory came not from superior racecraft, but from surviving a wreckfest that eliminated the real contenders. Byron's critique went beyond just the race itself. By comparing the Cup Series to the Truck Series, he was essentially arguing that NASCAR's Premier Division had devolved into amateur-hour racing where survival mattered more than skill. The implication was clear. Elliott didn't win because he was the best driver. He won because he was the luckiest. Ryan Blaney's post-crash comments were equally damaging to Elliott's victory narrative. After being cleared from the infield care center, Blaney delivered what can only be described as complete resignation, just getting caught up in other people's garbage. The story of our year. Blaney's choice of words, particularly garbage, was telling. He wasn't just complaining about bad luck. He was characterizing the entire racing product as substandard. The defending champion's frustration with his 7 DNFs in 2025 became a broader indictment of the racing that Elliott had just conquered. The story of our year comment hit particularly hard because it suggested that quality drivers like Blaney were being systematically eliminated by reckless racing, while drivers like Elliott were benefiting from the chaos. This narrative threatens to undermine any championship momentum Elliott might have gained.
Proud like this. Yeah, thanks. It was, just truthfully a pretty surreal moment. I mean, there's really only been one other time in my career that I felt like, I don't even know. I'm not even sure that anything has ever matched that. Like, that was just, it was crazy. I've never like, been on stage and been a singer or anything like that, but I would have to imagine, it would have to feel something like that. It was just such an incredible experience and something I remember for the rest of my life. Winning at home was incredible the first time, and they feel different, but this one, Saturday night under the lights, been a while since we won, getting ourselves a win and advancing up on the playoff thing and just all the things that have come with this,
Chase Briscoe, fresh off his breakthrough victory at Pocono just 1 week earlier, kept his criticism devastatingly simple, pretty much what tonight felt like for us. Those 5 words spoke volumes about the collective frustration of drivers who felt cheated by the circumstances that handed Elliott his victory. To sum up his experience at Atlanta, Briscoe had little to say, but it said so much. This NR2003 GIF he posted is the perfect representation of the race last night. Pretty much what tonight felt like for us. Briscoe wrote on X. Briscoe's night ended when NASCAR officials ruled his chassis damage unsafe, preventing any chance of returning to competition. His team had worked desperately to repair the damage, only to be told by officials that their efforts were worthless. The frustration of being eliminated by rulebook rather than race pace added another layer of bitterness. Even the racing media began questioning Elliott's championship credentials in the aftermath of his Atlanta victory. Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi pulled back the curtain on Elliott's 2025 performance during their post-race analysis. Gluck pointed out that while Elliott had maintained consistency with his average finish, Bianchi delivered the knockout punch. He doesn't lead laps, he doesn't win stages. That's not championship material. The criticism stung because it was accurate. Elliott's win came despite a season lacking the dominant performances that define championship contenders. Bianchi didn't stop there, highlighting Elliott's recent struggles, winning 1 race last year, 0 in 2023, and just 1 right now. Is that good enough? The question hung in the air like a challenge, forcing Elliott's supporters to confront the uncomfortable truth about his recent performance. The real issue emerging from Atlanta wasn't just about 1 race, it was about what kind of racing NASCAR was promoting. Drivers weren't just frustrated about getting wrecked, they were angry that the racing had devolved into survival rather than competition. Byron, Blaney, and Briscoe represented a faction of elite drivers who believed that races like Atlanta were rewarding the wrong behaviors. Instead of clean racing, strategic thinking, and superior car control, the format was encouraging aggressive moves that led to massive crashes and random winners. Elliott's victory became symbolic of this problem. While his fans celebrated his emotional breakthrough, his critics saw confirmation that NASCAR had lost its way. The fact that Elliott could win without leading significant laps or winning stages reinforced the narrative that luck had become more important than skill. The post-race criticism threatens to undermine Elliott's playoff momentum before it even builds. Playoff success in NASCAR requires respect from competitors, and the Atlanta fallout suggests that Elliott is losing that respect among his peers. Championship contenders need more than just wins. They need dominant performances that intimidate the competition. Elliott's survival victory at Atlanta did the opposite, reinforcing the perception that he's no longer capable of the sustained excellence that defines champions. The lack of stage wins and playoff points highlighted by the media creates a mathematical problem for Elliott's championship hopes. Drivers like Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Christopher Bell have accumulated significant playoff points through dominant performances, while Elliott enters the postseason with minimal cushion. What's happening to Elliott post-Atlanta is a narrative war that could define his 2025 season. His supporters point to his consistency and clutch performance under pressure, while his critics highlight his lack of dominance and dependence on circumstances. The driver criticism adds ammunition to those who question Elliott's championship credentials. When fellow competitors are publicly questioning the quality of racing that produced his victory, it undermines the significance of the achievement. The real test for Elliott will be how he responds to this criticism. Championship contenders silence their doubters with dominant performances, not defensive explanations. If Elliott can follow up his Atlanta victory with strong runs that demonstrate sustained speed and racecraft, the post-race criticism will fade. But if his Atlanta win proves to be an isolated moment in an otherwise inconsistent season, the criticism from Byron, Blaney, and Briscoe will look prophetic. The pressure is now on Elliott to prove that his victory was earned through skill rather than luck. The drivers have spoken, and their message is clear. Chase Elliott's Atlanta win might not be the comeback story everyone thinks it is. What do you think? Was this a championship moment or just survival? Drop your take in the comments and hit that subscribe button for more explosive NASCAR drama.